The Phantasmic Journey podcast is brought to you by Tascam and Amazon Studios. For more than 30 years, Tascam has developed products for every segment of the sound and music industry. From the high-end audio professional in a major post-production studio to the novice of hobbyist at home, Tascam is everywhere. They are a company committed to providing their customers audio and video solutions that enable breakthroughs by using sound in ways that are exciting as they are accessible, even recording the voices of the dead. You asked for a non-scripted paranormal TV show. You begged for a non-staged paranormal TV show. You begged and you pleaded, and we have listened. We present to you Season 1 of the Paranormal Journey into the Unknown. It was released October 31st, 2017. In this series, we show you what it's like behind the scenes and conducting a real paranormal investigation. Join Gavin Kelly, Paula Purcell, and their special guests to seek out the existence of life after death by going to numerous haunted locations such as jails, hospitals, battlefields, and museums, collecting compelling evidence by means of video, photography, and EVPs. In this season, the crew investigates the St. Albans Sanatorium, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, Jailhouse Pizza, and the famed Monroe House. And you can watch Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown on Amazon.com right now. Season 2 and 3 will be coming soon. Your journey begins now. As you call the path and both the known and unknown, what do we understand? What answers are we trying to achieve? Are there answers? Tonight, we gather to find more verity. Join us as we take the journey into the unknown. This is the Phantasmic Journey podcast with your hosts, Gavin Kelly and Paula Purcell. Well, welcome to the Phantasmic Journey podcast, everyone. I'm Gavin Kelly, and sitting right next to me is my lovely wife, Paula Purcell. How are you today, Paula?
Doing pretty good. How's everyone out tonight?
Going to be an exciting show tonight. We actually have an author that actually wrote two books, Haunted Wisconsin and Haunted Wisconsin 2. I bet you it's probably Wisconsin Haunted, but I'm probably getting it wrong. But his name is Craig Nehring. I'm probably going to say that wrong. But he is an author that wrote those books, and he actually joined us on our investigation at the Farrar Elementary School in Maxwell, Iowa. So it's going to be a really cool, exciting show when we get him on here. So we'll all talk about what happened at Farrar. But before we start, Paula has some weird things to talk about, and you're going to think it's weird when she tells you. By the way, if you guys click on the links that is on my Facebook page, you can find the chat, or if you just go to the main page and click on chat, you can jump into the chat room, and we can take questions there. We have our chat server up and running right now. So, Paula, take it away.
How is everyone tonight? We have several different stories. I'm one of those that I always come up with the weird, the unusual, or what I would call my bucket list of what? So yeah, that is something. I usually did the 5 of 5 on Season 1. I kind of changed it up a little bit because some of this stuff is on my bucket list of what, as in what in the world, what in the heck, what, you know, you have that question mark of what going on. But yeah, that's what's going on tonight. I've got several little ones. I don't know if we'll have time for everything. Stuff can always carry on to another episode or so forth and so on. The first question of the night is, have everybody have seen the post? I've seen the post on Facebook. I have heard them on 2 different radio networks. The Coffin Challenge at Six Flags in St. Louis. For $300, it's a $300 drawing bid, and basically you have to stay in a coffin for 30 hours. Now they do give you pee breaks, and they do give you food breaks.
They give you pee breaks?
They give you pee breaks.
Here's a bucket and a hose. Go at it.
And it's just, you know, it's interesting. And then I started researching more into not just the Six Flags thing, but the coffin ride thing has become very popular. And so I'm just interested into, it's just not that challenge. I was at Scarefest last weekend. Me and Gavin both were. And it was interesting that we had there was a corner over there to where you can actually go and you can pay to lie in a coffin while it vibrates you.
Yeah, it bounces up and down. It had like hydraulics on it. You could actually, it gives you the idea or the premise that you get to experience what happens when you're in a coffin and you're going 6 feet under. It starts from when they load the coffin into the hearse. You actually get to experience what it feels like driving in a hearse. And then when they take you out of the hearse, the machine picks you up, carries you. You can feel the, I guess it's like a, not a bulldozer, but a crane that's carrying you. And then it ends with dropping you 6 feet under, and you actually feel it.
Yeah.
I wanted to try it, but no. And
yeah.
She's over here tweeting.
Yeah, I have people are trying to log in, and they're having problems, and so I'm trying to help them out a little bit. Because we've been used to doing our YouTube and our Facebook Live last year, so we're doing this totally different. And some people are just not, okay, this is a little different than what we used to, so we're trying to, get it taken care of.
Okay, we're not doing the you-knows, okay? You need to refrain from you-know.
Oh, shut up.
Period.
Okay.
Just go straight to the Facebook page, facebook.com/PGH Gavin Kelly, and the links are there for the main podcast as well as our chat room, so you guys can log in and talk to us via chat. If you have any questions, we'll be able to take them there. Within about 5 minutes or so, we're going to go ahead and get our special guest, Craig, on the phone. So hopefully you guys can find your way to the chat room and click on the link.
Well, to finish up on what I was saying about the coffin rides.
You got time. Go
okay,
ahead.
Well, I didn't finish. I started doing a little bit more research on the coffin rides. I mean, it's become a popular event. If y'all been to Waverly, they kind of do something like that during their Haunted Fest when they open up their haunted house every October.
Oh, that's right. They do have that back there.
Yeah.
It's on the first floor.
Yeah, they have two of them, and it's kind of like the same concept that they were doing at Scarefest. And
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, and then I found out, which is not in our region. I mean, it's in the United States. I have found one, and I didn't forget where I read it at or where it's located at. But you know how all these virtual realities and escape games have become very popular? To where you go and the escape games where they put you in a certain area and you have to figure out how to get out.
Oh, the escape programs or escape hatch or
I mean,
Talon Falls escape or something like that?
Yeah, there's a Talon Falls escape. There's different kinds of things that you have to go through. There is actually a jail that's in Illinois that they put you through the escape to figure out how to get out of. But anyway, there is two different things I've found. One is they do an escape game for a coffin, and they put you in a coffin, and you got to figure out how to get out. And they kind of like do a security. I don't know if it's a security lock system. I couldn't get a lot of details.
Wait a minute. How to get out?
Yeah, it's like a locking device or something to that effect. It's basically you're trapped in a coffin, and you got to figure out how to get out.
Kick the hell out of it.
And then there was another one that was kind of strange, but yet, I mean, if anybody wants to actually experience this, I kind of don't want to experience this until it came my time, and hopefully I don't, I'm not actually here to experience this. But there is a virtual game, and you're actually put into the coffin, and you are given music, and they are, how can I explain it?
A virtual game?
Well, I guess you call it a virtual game, virtual ride. I don't know.
Are you wearing 3D? I mean, are you wearing VR goggles?
No.
Oh, well then that's not virtual.
it's a concept of basically you're in the coffin, music is being played, as in funeral music, as if
Another one bites the dust?
I don't know about that, but it's basically giving you the whole concept of you are experiencing your funeral. You are experiencing someone possibly picking your casket up, hauling it to
That's the same thing as the one at Scarefest.
to the hearse,
Yep. Same thing.
and you are putting into the hearse, and then you've got that last ride to wherever you're going, cemetery, mausoleum, whatever.
Yeah, you get to experience all the traffic jams, coming to a
They
complete
slam,
stop when
slam on the brakes and everything. It's the whole same concept. And then
little kid dropped his ball.
and then you have, you're feeling like you're being carried out of the hearse, and then you are placed on the pedestal before your last hoo-ha into the ground.
Hoo-ha? Last hoo-ha.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you feel yourself being lowered into the grave. And it depends on what state you live in. I don't know what their regulating feet are, because I know some states it's 6 feet, some states it's 8 feet. So I guess it depends on the state regulation. But I don't think the game really counts or calculates that. But it was interesting that I read about that, and I was sitting here thinking, do I want to actually experience my time in a coffin before my time existed?
So when it's lowering down, it goes, dead man tells no tales. No? Okay. I kind of thought it would. I still like the idea it would be playing Another One Bites the Dust.
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah. Well, you said it's playing music while you're in there. Can I, pop out like Deadpool did? Say peekaboo. You know how they had that TV show, what was it, Bale or Bay, or Bay or Bale, something like that, where they had the coffin that was sitting there, and the couple comes on up to it, and all of a sudden the thing opens on up, and the guy grabs either the girl or the guy, and if the loved one freaks out, they bail, or the other ones will be trying to, fight.
Babe, yeah.
Yeah.
Babe or Bale, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I seen the one episode with the coffin. I also seen the one where they had the nun, too.
Let's not talk about the nun. The recent one they had was the guy's daughter is really, really sick. Well, first they showed her she was okay, and then all of a sudden you can hear her screaming and all that, and they couldn't get a babysitter for her, so he basically asked his girlfriend to come over and see if she can help. And when she gets in there, it's basically the Exorcist child.
Yeah, I seen that. And they switched the kids out because they were a set of twins.
Yep.
I seen that.
That was some crazy stuff. So, it's about 12 minutes after 8, so what do you mean you can't figure out the chat room? If you're going into the chat room, all you got to do is click on guest, and then you can type in your name, and then the little box underneath it where it says message, just type in what you want to say. And it works just like that. See, Mary's in there right now. But she says she can't hear me. I don't know why. It's Mary now. I can't hear you.
Okay. Well, while Gavin is trying to get people into the chat room, I'll go ahead and talk about the second thing that was on my list besides the coffin.
What else is on your list?
Well, I have several, but I don't think we'll get on to all of them. But this one kind of fires underneath of me because the fact is that I do work with children every day now. And personally, I work with very small children. So this is an aspect that you're looking at for kids that are higher up in elementary school, middle school, high school, so forth. And a teacher was fired for putting zeros down for kids that would not do their homework.
Those are goose eggs.
But the point of it is, if your kid doesn't if you have students in your classroom and they don't turn in the homework, what do? You get a 0. I did when I was in school, which I didn't personally.
Actually, no, they didn't have zeros back then. It was just F, and nowadays it's an E.
Yeah, but it's just the concept of when you did not do something, did you not get a failing grade for not doing it, correct?
Yeah, you get an F.
Okay, well, this teacher got fired for doing that.
Oh.
Because she works in a educational area to where no child is left behind. A child has the lowest grade your child can make in a classroom in this school system was a 50.
That's half.
Yes.
Okay.
They have to give them, on the homework, she could not put them down as a 0. Even though all year round, you have a kid in your class all year round, did not turn homework in whatsoever. You have kids in your class that works their tails off, does homework every night, takes hours at a time, and to turn it in to have that power struggle of not having a 0 in their classroom.
Right.
But that you have, so they could pass to the next grade. But yet you've got John, James, or George next to you that will not do their homework whatsoever, but they are giving a 50 for a homework grade. So basically, if they make 60s or 70s,
right,
on their test scores, that will still give them a close to being a 60 or 61% for them to pass to the next grade.
Alrighty then.
So this teacher got fired because she believed her standards were correct, but the school system standards voted against it.
Huh.
Because they have their own quality of standards.
All right. Well, it's already 8:15, so let me go ahead and get Craig on the phone here. So talk about your one more thing you got while I get him on the phone.
Well, where do I want to go? But as for teachers, Polly, do you think this teacher was fired for her own means of, what she believed in versus what the school system believed in? Because I believed in when I went to school, you worked your tail off. If you didn't work your tail off, you didn't go to the next grade. I have seen people that did not graduate with me in my graduation class, and they had to go to summer school, or they came back and had to repeat their senior year. So, times have changed. My kids power struggled when they were in high school, so I don't know anything about this school system that this teacher was taught in, but I know what my kids went through in high school in the past 4 years, and there was a lot of stuff that they had to deal with. But this is nuts.
All right. On that note of being nuts, let's get him on the phone. I'm not saying he's nuts, but, Oops, I gotta turn my recorder off here.
Hello.
Hello, Craig. How are you doing?
Good.
We're doing good. We're doing good. So you listening to the show so far?
Yeah, I was listening to it. I'm actually on the chat under Ghost Slaps, so.
Oh, you are? Oh,
yeah.
Are you under my chat?
It says under the chat room. So.
Oh, you're in the different color chat where it's like blue and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Blue, yeah.
You got to click on our station name, the Paranormal the Fantastic Journey, and once you click on that, you'll see a chat icon, and that'll bring you into the big chat. I've actually put this together today, so this chat is a lot easier, and it's...
Okay. Under the station name WGKC or no?
Well, yeah. No.
Okay.
Just go to the main page.
Yep.
And then you see where it says station IDs or station something?
Line up. Okay.
There you go. Click on that.
Journey.
Yep. And you'll see the whole page. Yep. All right. Once you go there, you can see the chat. Now, when you do that, you're going to see the big box pop up. On the very top box, you need to type in your name, and then the box under it, that's when you can type. Because,
okay,
yeah, Mary's name
right
right
now.
now.
It's hard.
Yeah, Mary's name is Okay, I Hear You Now. So.
Yeah, I just see the big thing for the Phantasmic Journey podcast. That's all I see.
Oh, you don't see the chat box? I mean, the little...
it says Radio Live.
Yeah, and underneath it, you should see a little red icon. Looks like a chat.
Oh, okay, I see that, yeah.
Yeah, you click on that, and that brings you in.
Okay, now I see it, yeah.
Now, the very top is where you type in your name, and then the next line under it is where you talk.
Okay.
So you might want to do that too, Mary. Otherwise, I'm going to call you Okay, Hear You Now.
Gotcha.
So it's much easier than the other chat that we have.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, I probably won't be able to chat and talk at the same time. I can't do two things at once.
well, that's true, but if someone asks you a question, you'll be able to see it on the chat.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, I know when I introduced you, I probably said it wrong, but is the book called Wisconsin Haunted or Haunted Wisconsin?
Wisconsin's Most Haunted,
There
Volume
you
1
go.
and Volume 2.
There
You're
you
close.
go. Yeah, I was close, yeah. I get brownie points for that. I was talking about that, and I knew
I also have a third book coming out soon, too. So.
Oh, cool. So we'll add that to our collection as well. But, yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself for who you are and, of course, talk about your Wisconsin's Most Haunted books. Floor is yours.
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Craig Nehring. I am founder of Fox Valley Ghost Hunters. Also have 2 books out, Wisconsin's Most Haunted Volume 1 and Volume 2. I am working on a third book called Archives of a Ghost Hunter, which will cover all of our investigations out of state, opposed to the Wisconsin books that just covered the investigations in Wisconsin.
Cool. We've already took a look at the first book. I believe that's the one that we have. I don't think we got the second one yet, did we? You gave it to us at Farrar?
I gave you the first one at Farrar, yeah.
Okay, that's which is the one that we had before?
It should be I'm assuming it's the first one.
Okay, because Joshua Charles sent us one.
Okay, yeah, I wonder if he sent the second one or if he sent the first one.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm thinking he sent the second one and then you gave us the first one.
Well, there you go.
Oh, either or, we got first and second, so hey.
Yep.
So, let's talk about the biggest story of the night. Farrar Elementary School.
I love that place.
Oh, yeah. We had an incredible night there. The activity that we experienced was freaking off the wall, off the charts. I mean, man. And, I mean, it's just weird. We get ready to set up everything. Kenneth shows up with the ghost helmet. And, I mean, I put that thing on, and it was the first time just testing this thing out. And the weird thing is, all of a sudden, I started seeing, because he said the LED lights are going to go ahead and flash in some kind of a pattern or sequential pattern. And he said, you're going to start seeing signs and stuff. You're going to see like lines, or you're going to see weird shapes and colors. And, at first I was just like, okay, well, this is going to be interesting. And you do remember that right next to it was the Devil Jersey box that was just going through and cycling and spitting stuff out here and there randomly. And I'm just sitting there wearing that helmet. And then I took the helmet off because I said I started seeing like weird colors and stuff like that. And I put it back on the table. And then the Jersey box jumped up and said my name. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And then after it said my name, we actually heard a basketball game going on.
Yeah, you could hear everything.
Yeah. Didn't you and your team, you actually spent the night there above Gymnasium and you basically experienced the same thing?
Yep, our very first investigation at the school, the homeroom or the base camp that we used was a little room that had an open area where we could put air mattresses and stuff, and there's one little back room off of that room and that's right above the gymnasium. There's like a little window that was actually covered up with like some insulation or something covering it. Mm-hmm. And I was sleeping in that room, and I woke up. At first, I woke up to something slamming its fist down on my air mattress, something I couldn't see, of course, and that spooked me, so I'm up. And then all of a sudden I hear a basketball game going on, and I woke up. The friend of mine, his name was Jordan, another one of my team members at the time, was in the bed next to me, and I woke him up. And he says, "Oh my God, I can hear it too." We walked out into the main room, and I told everybody else, I said, "I think somebody broke into the school and they're playing basketball, or there's some type of activity that I wasn't aware of during the middle of the night going on." So we all ran down towards the gymnasium. By the time we got around the stairs to the corner of the gymnasium and peeked our heads in, it's still pitch black and nobody's there.
Yeah, and it completely
and
stopped.
All the sound stopped.
Yeah. See, that was kind of weird. I mean, when you told us that story, when we were doing the walkthrough, to experience it still continuing to play on the Devil Jersey box just totally blew my mind. I mean, I picked up the box. You guys were all behind me. I'm like, okay, let's go on in. I'm going to see if this is going to stop. And we had cameras and everything. We went in, went down the stairs, 2 stairs, and got to the gymnasium. It was still going on. I mean, we actually could place the Devil Jersey box down in the middle of the gymnasium floor, and it was still going. I couldn't explain it.
And the Devil Jersey box doesn't run radio stations. It just runs...
Exactly.
What does it run? Like, yep.
Just whatever it's picking up. I mean, it was going through... Kenneth put one of those like boxes on there that actually does the white noise and cycles through.
Sure.
So that was actually on there, and any voices that come out will be, have the reverb and everything, and it'll pop up and say, like it said, my name. And also we got the game going. So, but the best part is when I put the Eddie on one side and then put the other geophone on the other, and we were actually watching the geophone lights lighting up like somebody was running back and forth while the game was going on.
Yeah, and that's not an easy task on that solid floor either. So
exactly. And of course, the only sad part is we had cameras running. You had your cell phone on it, and I mean, of course, it was dark. Your cell phone's not going to do night vision, so you really can't see anything except the red lights of the recorders and the geophone lights going on and off. But yeah, when it came time to check out all the activity that we recorded, there was nothing on the video.
Nope. That's too bad.
Oh, man, I was so distraught. I worked on that thing for 3 days straight. I sent it out to 3 different people to see if they could actually do it. I'm just thankful that I got the recording on my recorder.
Yeah, definitely heard that. I still got it on my phone, but like you said, I can't see anything, but you can still get an idea.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I put this on top of that. What the heck was it? It was like a big wheel or something that was sitting down there.
Yep.
And after it was done, I turned it off and I put it in my pocket, and it just stayed there. And after I was done, I went ahead and took it and put it inside base camp. I just left it there. I completely forgot about it. I mean, I was going to go ahead and use it again during the night, but the activity things that we had just going on, it was basically grab a camera and go. But
it was amazing.
But for the listeners that are listening right now, I'm going to play you the actual recording that was recorded on our recorder of the basketball game. And like we all stated, this Devil Jersey box does not play radio stations. But here we go. That's Paula talking in the background. And just for that few minutes, you can actually hear somebody slam dunking into the headboard. You can hear people running up and down on the bleachers. I mean, you can hear Paula in the background because she actually came up with an idea to name off some of the players that were possibly playing in that game. And during the recording, we can hear the announcer. We can hear people running up and down on the bleachers, the slam dunks, the running, their sneakers on the floor, and when it does the screeches, when they kind of stop themselves and then go to a different direction when they're dribbling the ball. And then later on, we actually got what sounded like a pep band playing. So all that was actually recorded, and we let numerous people listen to this digital recording. Cheryl Fletcher went ahead and listened to it, and I didn't even tell. I just told her it was a basketball game that we recorded, and she started naming off. Yeah, I can hear people running up and down on the bleachers. I can hear the slam dunk. I can hear squeaky sneakers. I can hear the announcer. And at one point in time, you could actually hear the buzzer. So it was truly amazing that we actually captured that. You'll be able to hear this EVP in its entirety in the, it's going to be very difficult to put this episode together due to the fact that we lost a lot of footage. We're looking at basically 276 gigabytes of footage gone. Right, put you to sleep. Crazy. I thought I put you to sleep.
Nope.
Yeah, but we can all talk about the fun thing that happened. Well, the weird thing was during the game, we decided to let the recorder record, let the camera record. And I do remember at one point in time, the camera did shut off by itself. And I had to go back and turn it back on. I'm like, why did it shut off? So I'm kind of getting the sneaky suspicion or the idea that whatever was there allowed us to experience the game, but did not allow us to take it with us.
That's a little crazy.
Yeah.
Like they got a sense of humor, but they don't.
Right. But the funny thing is while we were letting all that stuff record, we decided to go to the boiler room. And we went in there, and we didn't get any activity. We got nothing. Of course, I was being a smart aleck. I said, well, we're not going to get any activity because they're probably out there watching the game.
Yeah.
Wasn't that true?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I guess we're going to have to wait until the game's over and then go. Sure enough, Cheryl shows up. We share with the information with her, what's going on. We go in, go right to the boiler room, and holy crap, did we have activity out the butt. Pardon me. I got a little cough going on because I kind of got a sore throat. I've been trying to fight with this today and yesterday, but it's starting to get a little worse. That's why I'm kind of really bassy. It sounds really cool, though. I got a new singing voice. Yes. Don't laugh at me.
You trying to play off Josh Turner?
Yeah, I could probably do it. So, and the thing that was really cool is I wish Cheryl was actually in the chat room because she ramped all the activity that was happening in the boiler room. I mean, we set up the Eddy up on that one bucket in that hallway, pitch dark. people that were present was Kenneth, his wife, Paula, you, the two straw ladies.
Yep, Jennifer and Lisa.
Yeah, they were there, and Cheryl. And the thing that was really blew my mind is she's sitting there talking about the story of the principal and the janitor. And every time she kept bringing up things of the past about the janitor and the principal, the eddy started lighting up bright blue. And then, I kid you not, we started seeing that geophone start ticking like somebody was coming down the hallway. And Kenneth's wife was doing, what was she doing? Oh, she was running thermal. Yeah, she was running thermal. And Paula said that she felt something that it was kind of like someone pulled her pinky or something like that. How did that go?
I felt what it felt like was someone who was coming over here, and I felt like, someone had like grabbed hold of it, not necessarily pull it, but kind of like grabbed hold of it. And she came over there with the thermal, and you could tell that there was a hot sensation.
Right.
On there compared to the rest of my hand. It was like a total different temperature.
Right.
Going on right there.
And then wasn't there something that was found on shown on thermal that was a cold temperature around you at the time before Craig got scratched?
Well, the deal is, it was kind of like a ripple effect, as
right.
if we had one person had gotten cold, and then it transferred to somebody else, but we were all sitting there or beside each other,
right.
And it was like she got cold first, then I got cold. She threw a temperature reading on me. It could tell that I had something cold behind me,
right.
And then the next thing you know, it went to Craig, and then that's when Craig started feeling a burning sensation.
Yep.
Yep.
Go ahead and tell everybody what happened to you, Craig.
Well, I was actually holding one of your cameras recording,
mm-hmm.
and when, like I said, when the principal, either principal or the janitor, was getting mad or something, and all that was going on, and that Eddie was lighting up like crazy, I felt a burning sensation on my back, and there's like no way that I scratched my back because I had two hands on the camera at the time.
Yep.
I'm like, I think my back is burning, so that's when I had someone, I forgot who, lifted up my shirt, and you saw it, and you said it looked like 2 marks with like a weird box around it or something.
Yeah, I did, and I even got that on camera as well. What was the thing it looked like? You remember, Paula? You don't remember? Wow.
No, it was like you said something like a little box going around something, like not like a little box, but it was like scratches going down, and then like a little square box.
I think I wanted to say it looked like didn't I say an 8?
Yeah,
something like
so.
that. Yeah, it was 3 marks and an 8. So it basically kind of like what I said when we were there. I said, I think you got branded.
Yeah. Luckily, it didn't last too long.
Right. But then, what else happened in the boiler room?
Well, there was a bucket in the boiler room, and a little bit prior to that, we heard that bucket move, like maybe a little boy or somebody might have been sitting on it at the time. I know. Who was it that said that? Oh yeah, Mary, or what was her name again?
Cheryl.
Elliot Fletcher. Yeah, Cheryl. Why am I getting Mary in my head? Anyways, I'm looking at the chat. See, I can't do two things at once.
We have a Mary in there, though.
Yep. Anyways, yeah, so we heard that bucket move, and we thought there was a little boy sitting on it. Well, after that had happened, after the being scratched and everything went on, I had gone back and sat down on the bucket, and then I got up, and it's still pitch black in there, and about a couple minutes later, a big pop from the bucket, and scared everybody, and you went running.
Yeah. What happened to me?
You found another bucket.
Yeah, and what was in that bucket?
I think it was tar. I don't even know.
Yeah, it was a big old bucket of tar.
It was a bucket full of tar. To this day.
How's your leg?
Oh, it's still bad. It is still bad. I think I might be a hairline fracture. I don't know, but I can't really kneel on it. Oh man, it really hurts because, like I said, when I heard that boom, it sounded like it came from where I was next to that door that was going to the crawl space or to the catwalk. And I mean, it resonated from there and hit me in the back of the head. That's why I thought something was banging on the door behind me. That's the reason why I took a beeline forward and did not see the bucket.
Yep. Didn't they teach you not to run?
Yeah, but it's not going to teach me to just stand there with my back against thinking somebody made a noise behind me.
Yep. There was that room back there with the, looked like old water or oil tanks back there.
Right. And I even got that on footage as well. We had everything on footage. Believe it or not, check this out. Everything inside the school, trashed. Stuff done on the outside, which is the cemetery, the grounds, the playground. That stuff's fine. I can't figure it out.
Yep.
Doesn't make any sense. Go get me a cough drop. I need one.
We'll have to get you to come back to another school.
Oh, yeah. I know you were showing me videos of it. I have to let Pahala take a look at that. I just hope it's not going to be the exact same, dilemma that we're going to run into.
I highly doubt it. I think that's kind of rare.
Oh, I know. I mean, to get that much compelling activity and have nothing to show for it except for what's on my digital recorder. Oh,
yeah, I've gone through that with digital recorders before where they went corrupt and you had to redo the voice recorder back into the computer and redo it, and then I'd lose all the evidence.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was thankful because, like I said, I had it in my pocket, and then I just took it out and I put it inside base camp, inside the tent, and completely forgot about it because we were constantly on the go, and we kept going different places here and there, and I mean, we started having more activity that was going on throughout the night, especially when we got into what was that room? The theater room, or
theater, yeah, the auditorium.
Yeah, the auditorium. Oh wow, that was interesting. I decided to put the ghost helmet on, and I'm sitting there. I'm in pitch darkness. The lights are flashing, doing its synchronization, and I mean, a lot of people won't believe me what I saw. And of course, it's going to be validated because I didn't even tell Cheryl what I saw. And then she basically told me what she saw. And I'm like, that's exactly what I saw, which is really cool to validate that. But sitting there, I saw what looked like, well, first of all, there were different colors. And it was like orange and yellow and blue and green. And then it all just kind of clashed together. And I swear it looked like a rift showed up right in front of me, and it opened up. And after that rift opened up, what appeared before me in front of the stage was a little girl in a sundress and a sun hat. And next to her was a little boy wearing a little pilot's hat with goggles. And, of course, Paula was like, are you guys playing dress up or something like that? So then she started doing, what were you doing?
I was doing nursery rhymes and different types of activities that would, since you were kind of looking at the age group of what you were looking at, that I had changed it from, because I know the history of the school was at one time kindergarten through 12th, and at first I was doing upper levels, and then when you were experiencing children,
right,
then I changed it to something more simpler, like Jack and Jill or I'm a Little Teapot, that kind of little scenario to where, and then that's when you said they started getting closer.
Mm-hmm. But then there was one shadow that showed up in the back of the room. And now you got to remember, I'm wearing this helmet. Everything is completely black. I can't see anything except the synchronization of these LED lights. And I swear to God that you were behind me on the stage. And when I took the helmet off, where were you?
Right there beside of. I was in front of you.
You were in front of me.
Yeah, I was in front of you.
That was wild. I mean,
because when it first started out, I was on stage, and then you started seeing them, and that's when I got closer to you to find out what was going on, and then that's when I was sitting by you for a second to see if we can get them to come closer, and then that's when I got a chair and moved directly in front of you, going, okay, can you see them now with me sitting in front of you?
And there was shadow play that was going on in the back of the room. The very, very back, where I said that there was looked like a door, but it was actually a window, but there was shadow play back there. So, have you experienced anything like that, Craig, from the auditorium?
Yeah, actually, quite a bit of stuff in the auditorium. Just to name some of the better times that we spent in the auditorium. Last year we had another group with us, and they brought air mattresses, just like we do. We now use the auditorium as base camp, because when we sleep in there, you can hear the pitter-patter of children's footsteps run into the room and run back out. Well, on this occasion, one of our investigators had an air mattress close to the door going into the auditorium, and it was about a half hour into the investigation, and it's pitch dark in there. All of a sudden you hear something run into the room, but it ran in, and it ran across the air mattress of the investigator. It popped the air mattress, didn't pop it, but it bounced it up into the air.
Wow.
Ran past it, and then ran back out of the room. We had video on that, and you could see where the air mattress lifted up slightly, but in the video it also looks like there's some type of mist running out of the room, and we were able to circle that and get it on video to say that it's possible that we captured the apparition. It matched the footsteps as it ran into the room and ran back out of the room. That was one of the more enthusiastic things that we captured up there.
That sounds cool. Didn't you get some compelling EVPs from the auditorium?
Yeah, definitely. Some of the EVPs that were captured up there, actually, there was one captured down in the library itself, and that actually was a girl, a little girl, or it sounds like a girl, but it could be a gentleman, or someone with a scratchy voice, basically, and it says, "I come to read you a bedtime story." And it was so creepy, it almost sounded like it wasn't real, but it was real. It was just amazing. Up in the auditorium, there's a room across from the auditorium, a classroom, of course.
Right.
And we left a voice recorder in that room while we were all sleeping. And the next week when I got home and went over the audio, there's a little girl, or probably a little girl, singing, "He loves me not." And it lasted for like 10 seconds, where she was just going back and forth singing, he loves me not." We captured girls laughing up in the auditorium. Another voice that says 2 hours, Kayla, like possibility that whatever it is kind of residual, or they're having a conversation amongst each other.
Huh. It's just truly amazing that we can take a digital recorder and just leave it somewhere, and it can just pick stuff up. Does yours have like the white noise built into it, or no?
No, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, it's just straight up
But
digital recorder, and that's it.
Yep. And then one of the, like I said, they're also very intelligent there. We had one of our investigators, like I said, we've been there about 15 times, and we'll be going back in November on the 9th and 10th. On the 10th, we're allowing guests to come in there with us, and there's still spots available, so get a hold of us. But we had one of our times that we were there, we had an investigator, her name is Sheila, and she sneezed, and I didn't hear anything at the time, but going back over audio, right after she sneezes, there's a voice from Ghost saying, "Bless you."
Oh, wow.
And you can find that actually on EVPs under FoxValleyGhostHunters.com under the Best of Farrar Schoolhouse. So
So you have all your EVPs that you guys recorded on your website.
Yep, the better ones, the ones that you hear a lot of the ones that just say yes and no and whispered ones, and I usually don't put them up because they're hard to hear, and sometimes you're not exactly sure what they're saying.
What about the video with the mattress? Is that online as well?
I don't believe I have it up. Well, actually, it might be, if I can remember right. It might be under videos under foxvalleyghosthunters.com. I believe it is.
Okay. Well, yeah.
And we did capture. I don't do a whole lot of videos with orbs or pictures of orbs because a lot of it, like 80-90% of that is dust particles in the air. But we did capture a unique orb at the Farrar Schoolhouse, and that is actually online on the website under videos. And it big, weird white orb that starts out in the very back of the stage and comes shooting down through the auditorium and past the camera that we had pointed up at the auditorium.
Well, I tell you what, we definitely need to come back out there, but it's going to be a gamble for us because the compelling activity that we got at the time that we were there, and the recording of the basketball game. I mean, what are the chances we come back and we do another investigation? We go through the whole shebang of filming the investigation, and we get nothing.
Yeah. Well, I've never been actually disappointed there. A couple slower nights than the rest, but for the most part, we've always had some sort of interesting activity. I should note that same time that we had to capture that orb, our investigators had a mag light, and they had left it set on the stage. And in the middle of the night, he had forgotten about the mag light, so it's up there, but the camera, the IR, is reflecting off the flashlight, off the lens. But the flashlight itself is not on, but the IR is reflecting off of it. In the middle of the night, the flashlight disappears. Nobody could find it. We couldn't find it. The next day, we had to leave without the flashlight. And it was one of those bigger mag lights. They're a little bit more expensive, probably runs about $20-$30, if not more. And we, when we went back over the video from that night, after capturing that orb, we also captured basically the flashlight was right there on the stage. The IRs had it, and it just disappeared. It just went black, like something had picked it up and moved it. There was reports months afterward that they thought ghosts were walking around the top of the building with flashlights in their hands.
Oh, wow. Well, you do remember...
But yeah, there was reports of odd lights up there.
Yeah, well, you do remember my light that I actually had on the stage, on the DVR that was watching it. All of a sudden it would go off.
Yep.
And it would come back on.
Yeah.
And then it would just, it would stay on for a long period of time, and it would go off, and it would come back on. It just kept on doing that. I mean, I've got that on the DVR, so I know the DVR stuff is fine. But yeah, that was interesting because we're sitting there watching it, going, "Huh?" Because it's like kind of like something was walking in front of it, and then moved away from it. Because when it went off, it was off for a long period of time, and then they came back up. So it kind of gave you the idea that something was walking in front of the light, realized it was a light, and then moved out of the way.
Yeah, well, you figure other than the principal and maybe the janitor, there's probably a bunch of children there that like to have fun.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the principal, Paula has a little story that happened to her the next day, during the day, when we were doing a daytime investigation. She can actually tell you what happened in the principal's office.
Yeah, we was walking around, and we were going through the second floor, and I said, you know what, let's try something, because he did not like when kids did anything pretty well much. So I purposely ran down the hallway towards the principal's office and stormed up to the principal's office and said, I ran in the hallway, what are you going to do about it?
She did.
And then for a few seconds, nothing didn't happen. And then we started talking about that little room offside of the office right there, and I opened the door, and I was like, is this where you shoved the little children in there? And then all of a sudden, I felt a warm sensation on my hand as a sting, and it looked like which we don't have footage of, but it looked like a red mark right across the top of my hand, like in the olden days when they took the ruler to your hand, as you know, that was your way of being disciplined, is that smack of that wooden ruler right on top of your hand. That's what it felt like. And there was a red mark, looked like a ruler mark, across the top of my hand while we were in the principal's office.
Yeah, it didn't last long, but it was there. And then, of course, Cheryl was telling us about there's a stain on the floor in that room, where the principal would actually grab the kids by the shoulder and spin them. And so I guess the soles of their shoes actually kind of made this mark into the floor where it kind of looks like a circle or something like that. And she was standing right there when she got smacked.
Oh, wow.
I'm still wondering about that attic.
Oh, the crawl space, I looked up to it, and I said, I'm not even going to try.
Cheryl,
yeah, where they had supposedly put stuff up there, maybe even students.
Yeah, well, Cheryl said that she gets an idea that the principal put clothes up there and a bunch of other stuff. Not really sure if she put students up there, but he did put clothes and different items up there. Has anybody ever gone up there to see what's up there?
I haven't myself. I don't know if the owners or the guy that takes care of the place has gone up there at all.
Maybe that might be something you want to do when you go back in November, just to get a ladder and go up there.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Hopefully I don't find bats.
Well,
yeah, or you might find a skeleton.
Something, you never know.
Yeah, that would be bad. I have a fear of attics. My old house in Nashville, we had an attic, and we kept hearing what sounded like somebody running across the whole length of the house up in the attic. And I mean, we're talking shoes. We're not talking this critter. We're talking shoes. And then it would come to a halt, and it was like a boom, like someone slammed into a wall. So...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So at the time, it was a couple friends and stuff. We were there, and I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? So we decided to bring down the ladder. Yeah, I'm still shaking in my boots about this. And we opened the top. And you know what? I've seen every freaking horror movie. I know. You climb on up into the attic head first. Guess what gets chopped off? Your head. So
you're watching too many movies like Sinister.
Yeah, pretty much. So I walked on up there, and I kid you not, oh God, I had 2 long cooking knives on each side of my head, and I'm holding them as I'm walking up. So basically, if anything's going to chop, they're going to hit the knives first. I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was, that was kind of crazy to do that, but I'm not going to go up there and lose my head.
Not
It
the
reminds
only
me
attic
of
crawl
a
that you
time
did.
that we investigated Ashmore Estates back when there was still a roof on it. I don't know if there's a roof on it anymore, but
yeah,
it was
there's
one
a
of
roof
our
on
early. Is there a roof?
Mm-hmm. You're talking about the attic space? The attic space is gone.
Yeah. Okay, well, the attic space,
Oh,
when
yeah.
we were there the very first time, it was very hard to investigate, but we heard all this noise coming up for the attic, and it was our very, like I said, probably like our first or second investigation, I'd say back in 2011.
Oh, okay.
And we went up there, and I had one guy go up there with a camera, and he had the IR on, and he shined it around in there, and all these red eyes looked back at us, but they were red eyes of pigeons. So all the noises we were hearing were tons of pigeons cooing throughout the whole night. It was hard to do anything.
Oh yeah, we know about Ashmore Estates. We're actually going to be up there this weekend. So we've been there. Gosh, this will be our third or fourth time.
Third time.
It'll be our third time up there. Yeah, we helped out with the restoration of the building. That whole front end section that looks like 2 little houses now. Those weren't there.
Yep.
We tore those down. There was nothing there except pillars and a porch.
Yeah, I was there when Kelly had it. What was the first name? He was one of the very first owners of it that had started it to turn it into paranormal investigations.
Oh, okay.
He was the one that had the weatherman that was thrown to the ground.
Right.
We actually had gotten out to. Yeah, we got out to there, and when we talked to him, he's like, "Oh no, the weatherman never got thrown to the ground. That was staged." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that was good. That's great." But
yeah, but
it was interesting there. But I hear they made it a lot better now than what it was.
Yeah, the only thing is that guy was creepy.
Yeah, they got a room in there now that you can spend the night.
They have 2 rooms you can spend the night.
Yep. And if you're not one of brave spending the night inside, you can get one of the cabins that they built to put outside that the people that can stay outside.
Yeah, Christopher and Rachel Boot have their own.
Yeah.
But yeah,
nice.
We'll be there at Ashmore Estates. They have this big thing going on for 3 days, Ash Bash 2018. And
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're going up there to go meet friends that we've talked to numerous times on Facebook and finally get to meet them face to face, hopefully. It really depends on if I can get rid of this throat problem because, I'm constantly sitting there going, and I hate that.
And plus, we've got one of the friends that we were going to meet. She's in the hospital, so we pray for her to get well, and Denise to get well and get over her dilemmas that she's going with right now, and speedy recovery.
Yep.
Well.
And of course, we're going to be meeting up with Kenneth. He's going to have a new box for us. Because at midnight, while we're still up there, we're making a trek over to Airtight Bridge. And we're going to do some experiments over there. I'm going to wear the ghost helmet in the middle of the bridge. We're going to have cameras on both sides. And we're just going to try to communicate on the bridge. Paula will tell you the story about the Airtight Bridge. I really don't know the whole story, but she does.
Airtight Bridge, I don't have my notes in front of me, so...
Do it from memory.
Doing as best as I can.
Oh, boy.
I can't put the pre-date on the bridge because I don't remember that off the top of my head. But the long story is, it was a girl named Diana, which at the time we didn't know her name was Diana, that was murdered in the early 1980s. Her solving of her murder happened 2 years ago. The person that committed the crime had finally got arrested March of 2017. Kind of find out it was her own husband. What had happened was that in the early 1980s, some fishermen came on and walked down there to fish, and they ran across a body that was floating in the little river that's underneath there. And all of its hands and feet and head were chopped off. And all it was a body. And so, of course, she was considered Jane Doe. No one knew what her name. And at the time, forensics DNA was not as advanced as it was nowadays. So, back in 2008, I think it was, don't quote me on it, but I'm thinking it's 2008, they reopened the case, because it was a cold case. They reopened the case in 2008 and redid all the DNA and all the forensics and all that stuff on her. And that's when they found out who she was. And it was like in 2010 they figured out who she was, and then they started investigating, and then they finally got enough evidence to where they found out who committed the crime, which was her husband. And the deal is, they lived 2 hours away. He drove 2 hours to this bridge, murdered her, decapitated her. Where they took, he still to this day, as my understanding, has not given the identification or the location of where her head, hands, and feet are. Because he's still proven that his innocence, even though there's enough incriminating evidence to state that he did do the crime. Beside the point, that is the case. The story is the woman appears on the bridge or under the bridge. There's a legend is the reason why they call it Airtight Bridge is because supposedly you can walk on it, which people have proven it's not true on this part, but you can walk on the bridge and no wind will fly through the bridge. You won't feel any wind. You won't feel any gust. That's just a theory, a legend. So, but it was told even though the crime has been solved, she still walks, supposedly, on the bridge, around the bridge. People have seen her, a woman of some distinction. So we're going to go check it out Saturday night.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I've heard a couple of those stories around here in Wisconsin that I forgot what bridge it is, if you park on a bridge, it's something that I guess someone had passed away there, and if you park on that bridge, either you'll see handprints on the back of your car or on your windows if it's like a night where your windows fog up in the winter. Otherwise, something will push your car off the bridge, but I never tried it.
That's kind of like those crybaby bridges.
Gravity Hill.
Yeah,
like
Gravity
that.
Hill, Crybaby. There's a couple of Crybaby bridges in southern Illinois that's kind of the same stories about. And we got Gravity Hill, supposedly we've already found out that's debunked.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's considered, it's a imaginary gravity fault line on that one, where it makes it look like you are going up, that your car is being pushed uphill, but technically speaking, your car is actually being pushed downhill, even though it looks like you're going uphill. It's kind of a physics thing.
Like illusion type thing, too.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and take a 6-minute break here, and then we'll continue back on talking with Craig. How do you say your last name? Nehring? Nehring, yeah.
Yep.
We will be back talking with Craig Nehring, and we'll find out some more stuff and talk to him about most of his investigations that he goes to, evidence that he collects, and if he's going to be writing any more new books. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes.
But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother! We can do this together!
All right, let's go!
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this!
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
The Phantasmic Journey podcast is brought to you by Tascam and Amazon Studios. For more than 30 years, Tascam has developed products for every segment of the sound and music industry. From the high-end audio professional in a major post-production studio to the novice of hobbyist at home, Tascam is everywhere. They are a company committed to providing their customers audio and video solutions that enable breakthroughs by using sound in ways that are exciting as they are accessible, even recording the voices of the dead.
All right, well, welcome back to the Phantasmic Journey podcast, Season 2. My name is Gavin Kelly, and next to me is Paula Purcell. And our guest tonight is Craig Nehring. He is an author of Wisconsin's Most Haunted, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And, of course, he was there as our special guest with shooting the Paranormal Journey to the Unknown, Season 3 episode. So, welcome to the show again, Craig.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, not a problem. We love having guests. This is a whole new format, so this is completely different for us. As you noticed before, we did stuff with video, so you can't see us.
Nice.
Yeah, we could be like in our pajamas or something. Nobody would know.
Never know.
Well, I told Shannon Byers that when we do the show with her, I'm going to be in a Snuggie.
Nice. One of those fishtails.
No, it's just a Ted Snuggie. What do you?
Oh, come on! You're not going to be a unicorn?
No, I'm not going to be a unicorn.
Or about the fluffy dragon?
I'm not going to be a fluffy dragon.
Aww.
No, I will be Ted.
Well, a Ted and an Eeyore.
Oh, you're going to be Eeyore?
I done told you I was going to be Eeyore.
Oh, dear God. Who let the wild animals out? I still don't understand why she likes Eeyore. It is a depressed donkey with a nail in its butt.
Well, you like Ted, and he's a rebellious asshole.
Hey, Ted is cool. I don't care what people say. Ted is cool. I like Ted. So.
Ted's cool.
See? I win. You lose. Oh, gosh. Excuse me. All right. So, let's go ahead and talk to you about... I mean, you've been in this paranormal field for how many years?
I started back in 2011, roughly. 2010 was actually when I got quite a few people together just looking for people online. Craigslist seemed to be the place to find a lot of investigators back then.
Well, you got us beat because we've been doing this for maybe 5.5 years.
Yeah, but you had the singing prior to that, correct?
Oh, yeah. I was I still am a signed recording artist, but I was heavily in it back in 2011 to roughly, before that. 6 years? 6 years we've been doing this? How many years was I in music?
November of 2012.
Oh, wow. 2008. I believe, was it 2008 or 2006 is a Nashville Star when I was a regional finalist. So yeah, it's been a lot of years. I mean, I released my album in July 2nd, 2011, and
about the time I started ghost hunting, roughly.
Yeah, and I had a single on there called "In America," which basically went nationwide on numerous FM radio stations, country radio stations, of course. And they wanted to actually basically name that as the new God Bless the USA. I was so honored with that because that song it means a lot. It's patriotic, and it actually deals with the issues that are at hand, in the world today. So that was a really cool song to come out at that time, and I recorded it, and a lot of people loved it. So, yeah, but we've been doing this paranormal stuff for about... She counted on her fingers. 6 years.
Yeah, it'll be 6 years in November.
Would you use a microphone? Do I have to tape a microphone to your mouth?
I said it's 6 years in November.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to teach her how to use a microphone.
Oh, bite me.
I will bite you.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, just the whole paranormal field itself, just ghost hunting, just going out there isn't an addiction. Once you get involved, it's almost hard to give it up or walk away.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that, but, I mean, for us...
Well, maybe if I was a rock star.
Well, besides that, I mean, we've been doing it, we've been ripping and tearing and running and gunning, filming for the show, and, I mean, we were doing 2 locations a month, sometimes 3 locations a month to have, footage to put together episodes. I mean, there's a lot of places where, for prime example, Farrar, we got nothing.
Yeah.
So that one's going to be kind of hard to actually try to do anything. So I guess we're going to have to hold off until we go back. The only thing we got are just the stuff outside and what's on the digital recorder. But
like I said, I got a place for you.
Oh, I know. I saw. I got to check that out. I'm going to let her take a look at that later tonight. But I mean, here's the thing. We enjoy doing it, but you can't do paranormal, 24/7 because it, in matter of speaking, it'll kill you.
Oh yeah, and you just what you do, and you got not only do you got the investigation, you got the video part of it. You got to go over everything. You have the all the stuff you got to put up and tear down and do it, whereas I can just walk into a place with a suitcase or a couple of suitcases and be done. Well, I've seen the trailer that you brought. I've seen it maxed to the fullest amount. So.
Oh yeah, setting up the tent. Well, the tent, that was the first time we ever used that. So you got to see history being made with that tent. We used that as a base camp. I mean, that was my idea. That's what I wanted to do, and I did not know it was going to be that huge.
Well, you're lucky I knew how to set the tent up because it's the same one as mine.
Right? So now I know how to set it up, but yeah, that thing is wow.
Well, you get to play with it again in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
There you go.
The tent? Yes.
Columbus?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Yay. We're going to Columbus, Belmont. They're going to have a North and South battle reenactment on the battlegrounds.
Yeah. The deal is there was not technically speaking a battle there. The battle actually happened across the river.
Yeah, I know.
Which is a now flooded plain area.
Right.
So they can't really pull the battle off anymore. So they kind of moved the battle over where the hospital used to be at, which
is now the museum.
Which is now the museum. And plus they had a makeshift hospital there too. But Yeah, they moved out the battle over there, and it's actually more of a skirmish than it was a battle.
Right.
And they did have, a couple of battles fed out. One the north one the south one. So they play out both battles. One day they'll let the south win, the next day they'll let the north win. Next year they kind of do a vice versa type thing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, we kind of got some killer stuff there when we went there to film. We were up in the attic of the museum, which is the hospital, but they converted it to a museum. And it was me, Paula, and Sam. Our camera guys were on the outside. We had our Civil War reenactors. They were on the outside. And we're up there in the attic. And what was really kind of freaky was they're looking at these pictures that are leaning against the wall. And they were like generals or something, right?
Mm-hmm. There was generals, and then some of it was landscaping of farm areas in that time period. There was a couple of old pictures of Columbus when it was a booming town with the old hotel and stuff.
Well, the one thing that was bizarre is my watch fell off and hit the ground. Now I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe it was loose. No, this was completely cut off my wrist. I mean, we are talking just a straight cut, like a bayonet. That was the first thing that came to my mind. So I went downstairs. I took the Eddie with me. There's a bayonet up on the wall, and I said, was this the bayonet that cut off my watch? And that Eddie went bright blue. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Wow.
I've never had anything like that happen. That was really bizarre.
And then we, of course, I have to see if we have it on the recorder or not, but we did have, with a naked ear, because you had already went downstairs. Me and Sam was still left upstairs.
Okay.
And we had gotten sound like a lady's voice in the attic, but it was one of those deals that me and her heard it, and we had to check to see where everybody was at to see if anybody was still in the museum. You had already gone back outside.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was in the museum except for me and Sam.
I went back outside
and we heard a woman's voice at the entryway because we were in one of the rooms, and it sounded like we had it like at the entryway
of the attic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, where the attic's ladder came up, which I hated that ladder, but the ladder came up, and it was like right there that we had heard like someone was yelling for us.
Huh. Yeah, I don't remember that, but I went ahead and left and went down. I was talking to Tim and Cody, telling them about my watch, how it got cut completely off. Wasn't there something else that happened? Or that was just basically it. All of our activity was basically inside that museum.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, we walked. I don't think, did we get around to walking the trails? Did we walk?
We walked the trenches.
Or we walked the trenches.
We had a wild animal that was following us.
Yeah,
I remember
that was interesting. We had some kind of wild critter that was going through the whole thing, and I was like, oh, great. And we're not got protection. And then here comes Nathan. He goes, oh, don't worry about that. I come packing all the time.
Oh, yeah. Nathan, our camera guy, actually, he had a gun on his side, so we were well protected, but I don't know which direction it was coming from because it sounded like it was all around us.
Oh, wow.
And we were in the middle of the trenches, so basically it means we had to make a beeline out of there if anything would happen, and it's dark. You don't know where the hell you're going because it's a maze.
Were you sure it was an animal?
I don't know. I mean, it was stomping around like it was an animal. And that was the first thing that Nathan said. He goes, I think we have a wild animal out there. So I'm like, oh, crap. So,
wow.
But that was kind of cool. So tell me, what was the best place that you went and you got the most compelling evidence that you can speak of today?
Honestly, I would have to say Farrar and not just because we're talking about it, but just the fact that it's been so active for us over the 15 years. I've been to other places where I spent many investigations where it seems like the more you go or the more that it's being investigated, the less active it becomes sometimes. We did just get back from a couple months ago from St. Albans Sanatorium in Virginia, and I know you guys are there.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I had some interesting stuff happen there. It was up in, what was it? The room where, the bathroom where supposedly there was quite a few suicides in, upstairs.
Rebecca's bathroom?
Yep. We had a REM pod up there, and I came up there after a couple of my investigators were already up there, and they said they were having some interaction with the REM pod, basically going off on command to some questions. And the minute I got up there, the thing was going wild, and they said, "Do you not like Craig up here?" And it lit up like immediately. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what did I do to you? I just came up here to sit down.
Right.
And and they said, if you don't like Craig, turn it off. And it went off immediately. And I thought it was just, I'm like, oh my God, this ain't real. So I got up, walked towards the REM pod, even put my foot towards it, and then it didn't do anything. So I'm like checking to make sure it wasn't like a glitch.
Right.
And then I came back out of the room, and I said, okay, now that we're on the subject, if you don't like me, light it up. Bingo, it lit up right away. And I'm like, oh my God. And then they asked, you want Craig to leave. If you light it up, he'll leave. And it lights up. I'm like, okay, I'll leave you guys alone. You can talk to them up here. I thought that was interesting. But we had even more activity at one of the cabins we were staying at. They're called the Walker Creek Cabins, just outside of Radford. And they were in between these mountains, really pretty. There's like log cabins that I had booked to stay in. And the owners had stated that a while back there was another cabin on the property, but it was sold off. But they used to see old Civil War soldiers there walking down the driveway at night.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was interesting, seeing that we were there for an investigation already. So the first night that we stayed in the cabin, I went to, we were getting ready for bed, and the lights went off before I even got to the switch. And I'm like, well, that's just odd. And I walked back to the bedroom. They came back on. They turned back off again. They did that for like, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 minutes. And we're like, what the heck? Is there just like a glitch in the electrical? Well, the next night we had the same problem. The lights started going off and on. And, it wasn't, I checked the breaker, everything looked good there, unless it was something with electrical. But then on top of that, there was a loud noise on the front porch, like somebody had knocked on the door. Like 2 separate occasions, like 3 knocks, boom, 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 boom. We walked out to the front door, nothing there, absolutely nothing. And closed the door, came back in, and a little while later I heard, I think it was either Jennifer or Lisa, scream that something was outside. You could see the shadow on the porch, and the swing, there was a swing out on the porch. It was swinging back and forth, but it wasn't windy. And I had walked into my bedroom, and I looked out the bedroom window, and here there's this shadow there. And it looked like a guy with a brim of a cap, like a Civil War soldier, standing in it right by the swing. The minute I got to the front door, the shadow was gone, and the swing had totally stopped.
Oh, wow. I got to tell you a story that deals with a shadow. We were in, where were we? What was the name of that? Malvern Manor. Is that in Malvern, Iowa? Okay. In Malvern, Iowa. And we were up there investigating and filming. We were up on the 2nd floor, and we were in Hank's room. Hank despises women, or there's something with that story. And Paula was asking questions saying, why do you hurt women? Do you like hurting women? And I got a camera on her, and next thing you know, she goes, I feel a burning sensation, and without missing a beat, I went, yes, you got scratched. And she goes, although I'm not sharing your enthusiasm, come over here and look. So I walked on over there. Sure enough, lift up her shirt, she got a scratch going straight down the middle of her back. And there's no way she could do it because she had a camera in her hand, and I had a camera on her. But that doesn't take the cake. Downstairs, there's a place called Shadow Hallway. Now, I don't know if you watched the episode with Johnny Hauser where something ran up on him, and he didn't want to go back ever since due to that. But then...
Where was that at? What was the place?
Malvern Manor. Malvern,
okay.
Iowa.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, Johnny Hauser was down there in Shadow Hallway, and all of a sudden he heard something run up on him. I mean, it ran up on him and scared the hell out of him. So he never went back. But he did go back when Nick Roth went back. But needless to say, that's a different story. I was in the trailer, and I was setting up a camera to do Facebook Live, and I had people ask me, they're like, hey, can we go ahead and watch the DVR system while you investigate? I'm like, sure, why not? So I moved the camera on down so they could have a full view of the DVR system. Then I go inside, and I'm down in the Shadow Hallway. I am setting up a thermal camera, a full spectrum camera, and the DVR camera. And I'm setting that up down there, so hopefully expecting something to happen, because we were told that if you do this, not really provoking, but it is shouting code blue. If you shout code blue, you would actually see and hear someone come running down the hall going to that room where you're calling code blue from.
No. Wow.
So, before all that, I was finishing up setting up the full spectrum camera. And Paula came up with a really cool idea, because she likes to think outside the box. She loaded up her cell phone, and she connected to the stream so she could see the DVR camera too. She goes, nice. Gavin, there's somebody out there leaning over the table. I'm like, what? So I walk on over, and sure enough, I'm looking at her cell phone. There is a shadow that is hunched over my table looking at all the equipment. Now, do you think I stood there a second? No. Took a beeline out of the manor, all the way outside. There was nothing there. I had lights strategically placed on both sides of the trailer, so if anybody would have came in, they would have to move the lights. And nothing was moved. Everything was still the way I had it. Nothing was even moved on the table. But I saw that shadow on her cell phone. So, needless to say, I went ahead and asked the people who are watching the feed. I was like, did any of you happen to witness a shadow lurking over my table? And they're like, no, we didn't see anything like that at all. So I'm like, okay. So I ran back the DVR footage, because I had a camera that was out there as well, because I double monitor everything. We monitor the entrances and exits to make sure that nobody is coming and going that we don't know, or we have someone walk up on us. So we have all that stuff covered. So I had the trailer covered too. Nothing on a DVR, nothing on the Facebook Live footage, but yet I saw it on her phone. Excuse me. So, the story gets even hairier. When it comes time to packing everything up, everything is all in the trailer, and I'm shutting the door, and I'm going, where's my lock? I'm looking all over for it. I'm like, oh my God, I hope I did not lock it inside the freaking trailer. Or I put it in a box inside the trailer. I'm like, I am not digging through all that crap again. So I zip-tied the door shut. I get home, and I was talking to Cheryl online. It was like a couple days afterwards, talking to Cheryl online, and I told her what was going on. And I said, yeah, there was a shadow that was lurking over the table, and we saw it on her phone. She goes, oh, that's Hank. I'm like, excuse me? She goes, yeah, that's Hank. He's also a klepto. I'm like, what do you mean by that? She goes, are you missing anything by chance? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, I go, I'm missing my lock. She goes, yeah, Hank probably took it. I'm like, well, that's nice. I had to zip tie the freaking trailer door shut. So, a week later, I get a call from Josh. He's giving a tour at the Malvern Manor. And he always goes through and he like opens drawers and shows everything and everybody that's there and tells them the stories. Well, he opened up the drawer and right on top of Hank's pajamas was my lock.
Wow.
That was crazy. So yeah, that I still can't explain that. That just totally blew my mind. But when you're talking about St. Albans, oh my God. I got kicked in the shin when I was walking down the grand staircase, and when I was heading out to the birdcage area, I wound up getting a lot of paper cuts on my palm. I need something to drink.
Oh wow!
So that was
crazy.
We
were in that one room with the toys. Now, whose room was it again? I can't remember the name of the person that
Jacob's room
hangs out in there.
Yeah, Jacob's
room. That's correct. And we were in there doing, and I don't know if this had anything to do with the people upstairs. I don't think it did because I couldn't recreate it. But we were in that room and we were asking questions to, in regards to Jacob and stuff.
Right.
And all of a sudden we hear this swoosh noise and something moving out in the hallway. And me and Jennifer and Lisa ran out into the hall there, and there was an air duct that they had up in the ceiling,
right?
And it goes across on those dividers. Well, it had fallen and it's swinging back and forth in the middle of the hallway.
Oh wow!
And I looked at the other ones that are up there, and I'm thinking, well, how did this fall? Because they're positioned in there and they're tight in there. There'd be like, and then I tried to check to see if it would move at all if people were upstairs walking, because at that time there were people upstairs walking.
Right.
And I couldn't get it to recreate. I didn't see anything move when they were walking up there again. So I don't know if something pushed it or if, it got loose somehow.
Well, before we started filming, my camera guy, Chad, he decided to walk up the stairs. This is hilarious. He started to walk up the stairs all Mr. Badass. Matt's down below filming him. He walks on up and he's like, hello. Matt's like, what do you see? And all of a sudden, Chad goes all the way up to the top of the stairs, and he turns right around and runs down the stairs going, nope, nope, hell no, nope, I'm out, I'm done, I'm out.
Wow.
I got up to him, and I'm like, dude, what happened? He goes, all right, that's what happened. He goes, I walked up the stairs, I was just like, being like a badass, and he goes, I was like, hello, anybody up here? And he goes, all of a sudden I heard it. He said, that was it. I was gone, like that. And basically what it was is he heard something that ran out of the pedophile's room heading toward Jacob's room. Scared the hell out of him.
Yeah, that's a neat place. The bowling alley's neat. I didn't get a whole lot of activity from the bowling alley, but I like it. It's really neat in there.
Oh, the bowling alley. We heard a noise at the pin setter. It sounded like it was actually pin setting. It dropped a little pink pin right out of the thing.
Pink pin? Oh, wow.
A pink pin, yeah. It was the size of a can. And we heard the thing grinding, like it was working, and all of a sudden it dropped a pin. I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah,
believe it or not, I still got audio to go over from that place yet. I have like 8 hours, so.
Oh, we got a lot of stuff. I mean,
because I got cussed out in the bowling alley.
Oh yeah, we did. You've watched the first episode, right? Paranormal Journey to the Unknown.
Yep.
Yeah, the first episode actually shows, the evidence that we captured in the bowling alley, the things that were said, getting cussed out. The bowling part was awesome. I bowled like a strike with only one pin. Woohoo!
Wow.
Our Furby that was up in Jacob's room was just sitting there minding its own little business. Yeah, it spun all by itself. And Furbies don't spin. But here's the thing. Ever since we took it to St. Albans, our Furby has never been it the same.
No, I have to retire him and get me a new one.
Wow.
No wonder why we say 8-year-old voice.
Oh, shut up. That's all right. I'm getting Gizmo next.
Oh, God.
How about Chucky? There you go.
Hey, there you go. I want a Chucky Furby. No. I'm Chucky. You want to play?
No, I want Gizmo.
Mogwai. Oh, that sounds really weird. Mogwai. Oh, shut up, cat. But yeah, that was really strange. But one of the things that was odd is she took the ball and she rolled it from behind her. She's like, okay, want to play with the ball, Jacob? Here. And she rolled the ball out, away from her. It went all the way around her and stopped behind her.
Wow.
And I'm just like, okay, we got to do that again. That was just too... and she did it again, and then it just went around and stopped in front of the car. But I'm like, something stopped it behind her, and the floor is level. But check this out. The one thing that was cool, I was setting up stuff down in base camp, and I had the cameras going. There was we've been up in Jacob's room. Jacob's room was like a mess. It was like a toddler went in there and just destroyed it. Toys everywhere, right? Balls all over the place. All right.
Still look like that.
Right. But when I was watching the DVR camera, there was a bright ball of light that started from the left and went all the way across to the right. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Okay. When we went back upstairs, all the balls were lined up against the wall from largest to smallest.
Well.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, St. Albans is pretty cool. I mean, we've been a lot of places. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. Have you been there yet?
No, I've seen it, and I actually was going to make that trip, but I think instead we planned St. Albans.
Oh wow! Well, if you get a chance, you want to make Old South, because if you are lucky enough to get it, there is at the main nurses station there is a elevator right next door. And I'm trying to figure out exactly what time it happened. I really don't know, because we laid the recorder down. We let it record all night. I'm assuming it was at the time of the nurse shift change. The elevator door opened and then closed. There's no power to the elevator system.
Yeah, there's no power.
Yeah, not at all. And we heard it plain as day. And, yeah. You could hear it come up, open, wait a little bit, and then close.
Wow. Yeah, we did a investigation of the Belisca Axmer house. We've been there twice. The first time we got there, the door that opens and closes in the kids' room, like there's a little boy or a little girl going and hiding in there.
Right.
We actually had the camera set up, and unfortunately we didn't have the power turned on to record yet. We were just setting them up, and we were in that one room with the closet door that opens and closes. While we're setting up the camera, the door slowly opens all the way and then slowly closes back. And we tried to recreate it, tried to debunk it as like a wind variance or, wind distortion
right.
Within the house by having investigators open and close the lower door. Nothing. It didn't do anything, but it was freaky. And out of all the places that I've gone, even St. Albans, I didn't really have that much of an issue walking around by myself. But just walking, it must be because of the tragedy there, of the murders, everybody being killed in the middle of the night with an axe. Just sends shivers up my spine. That's one of those places that I just didn't want to be alone when I walked through it. On the second return trip there, which was actually in 2017, just last year, we went back. It was cold. It was nice the weekend before, and the weekend that we were there, it was snowing a little bit while we were there. But we were there, and we decided to, we don't believe too much in provoking. We want to treat the ghosts with respect and have them, do stuff for us, not hate us and scratch us and beat us to crap. But we wanted to recreate the murder scene to a point. So I had some of my investigators like Julia, Sheila, Jody, Tia, all laying in beds in the house that were up there. And we had purchased a plastic axe at one of the Kmart's or Walmart's the day before. And, of course, I wasn't going to be the one doing the swinging, but I handed that job off to my lead investigator at the time, Rick Seafelt. And around that time when they said the murders took place, we had him going from bed to bed, making believe he was using the axe on the people in the beds.
Right.
And I captured, I didn't get a whole lot. I had a scream during the middle of that. And then on through the EVPs, I heard something going, ow, 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 ow. Wow. But it was interesting to say the least. So I was hoping I would get a little bit more reaction or a little bit more physical evidence or see something during, him going about doing that. But just some of the reactions on the EVPs are pretty cool.
Yeah, I personally, I would rather like to have visual over EVPs. Yeah. Because the thing is, how can I put this? Not to say that, this has happened to you, but it has happened to us. We were at a place called the Campbell House in Owensboro, Kentucky, and we were told that up on the 4th floor, there's an old man that always opens up his door and just shouts downstairs. And it was a routine. He did it all the time. And while we were there investigating, we were down in the game room, and all of a sudden, we heard what appeared to be shouting. And my recorder picked it up. And, the first thing I thought was, oh, be darn, we captured a guy up on the 4th floor shouting. And that's what we thought it was until we started really digging into it and, making special notes of where we were. First of all, we're in a game room, so it's kind of like an upright Millennium Falcon cockpit, if you get my drift, with the windows.
Yep.
So that was a factor. You got cars that are driving back and forth because we're basically about 75 feet from the road. So that's a factor. But at that time, when I checked the cameras, there was no car going by. There was nobody walking by. But then we figured out that we had another camera that was set up toward the back, and basically what it was, there was a car driving. You could see it like 2 blocks away, coming down the road with the window open and the radio blaring.
Oh God, yep.
And our recorder picked it up, and it actually sounded like someone shouting from the 4th floor.
Oh wow.
So that got trashed.
We try to keep our whatever's going on at the time noted on the voice recorder to what we hear. If there's a car in the background, a train, a plane, you name it. So.
Well, the only thing that kind of gets me is the location. If they're not in an area where there's nobody next to it, then I can understand. But if they're in a residential area, such like, you got Poasttown Elementary. It's right there on the block. You've got train track to the far left, and you're basically like a residential area. You got other places there, and you're next to the road. And, you got different places like the Hartford City Jail. You got the Speakeasy. So people know that these places are quote-unquote haunted. What are the chances they walk on by and just scream?
Bad for that too.
Yeah, I mean, what are the chances of someone just, hey, let's go ahead and scream so someone's in there will actually think they're getting something? I mean. Yeah,
we heard that at Villisca. The very first time we were there, that place had the sign out by the main road saying Villisca Axmer House. We were actually inside trying to do an investigation, and we look out the window. There's people on the front lawn talking, snapping, taking pictures.
Yep.
I had to go outside and say, hey, we paid for this for the night.
Yeah, get lost.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I mean, that's just one of the variables that we always have to consider, because if you're in an area where it's just it's kind of like that building that you have that they're just showing me that's out in the middle of nowhere and it's surrounded with trees. That one you don't have to worry about cars or people walking around because it's just right there.
Yeah, you got a river out back, and we have to deal with the noise of a little bit of a small little waterfall, the water going over on the voice recorder. You got to, at least you know what it is, but you still got to isolate it.
Yeah, especially in the snow, you're going to hear the snow crunching when you walk. You know,
I won't be out there in the winter. I'll be breaking my neck.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, good God, if anybody is out there actually investigating, they're freezing their butts off because, well, there's no windows and it's open to the elements.
Yep, very open to the elements.
But, I mean, it looks like a cool place to go check out, but I'd like to go probably do it in the summer.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're doing it, and we got some events coming up here in October, and I'm hoping there's no snow before that. So,
yeah. We're hoping to not hit any places that are going to be in the snow, except possibly one, and that's going to be Octagon Hall in, when are we going there? Do you want to say February? February. Yeah, sometime in February. We're still waiting on the date, but supposedly it's going to be snowing, so the cemetery is going to be full of snow.
Snow cover.
But
where's that at?
Octagon Hall is in Franklin, Kentucky.
Okay.
Just recently, their first episode of Haunted Live by the Tennessee Race Chaser, they filmed there. That was their first investigation.
Oh. Nice.
So yeah, that they actually went there. It's an octagon house that was basically used during the Civil War. I don't know all the ins and outs about the story because I'm not the historian. That's Paula's job.
There's one in Oshkosh that is called the Octagon House that was used in the Civil War. It's got underground tunnels.
Oh, wow. God love underground tunnels.
It's called the same
thing. What do you know about the Octagon Hall, Paula?
I've not really touched base much on it. I just know that it was part of the Civil War, and it's like almost a 200-year-old building. I haven't really got into the theoretically history of it.
The theoretical history?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been having too many projects I've been working on just trying to get this year done.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Well, we got so many projects going on. I mean, as of now, you know that I'm running a country radio station Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
I did not know that.
Yep. I'm actually DJing a radio station. It's WGKC, Today's Hot Country. And I'm running it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Yeah. And besides that, we're shooting a movie, Lucy, which centered around St. Albans Sanatorium. We're going to be kicking up season 4 in October when we go back to the Massac County Courthouse and jail. After we did our first ever live investigation, similar to what Tennessee Race Chasers are doing, but we had 2 cameras. She had hers, I had mine. We collaborated together, and the activity that we got that was live was just incredible. And we had a lot of people that watched it, over 32,000 viewers.
And we're going back.
Yeah, and we're going back. They asked us back because they've been doing a lot of restoration to the building, so activity has ramped. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Jack, which is our friend, was walking down the hall, and the elevator door opened up. Light came on, and he just stood there and looked at it. And then it shut, and it went down. He told his wife that. She goes, "That's funny. There's no power to the elevator."
Yeah, they shut the power off because they were working on the top floor, redoing all the electric and all the windows and stuff and everything, and the roofing. So they shut all the power off to the second part of the first floor and all the second floor, and pretty well moved the majority of the people out of the courthouse.
Yeah. Wow. So lots of things going on with elevators with no power. I'm beginning to see a pattern. All right, well, we're getting toward the end of the show, so this is now your stage to tell everybody where they can find you, how they can get your books, how they can learn more about your team, and if you happen to be attending any events for this year or possibly next year. And if there's any locations that you want to let people know about where they can join on in, because it's going to be like an event and you want to sell tickets for it. So the floor is yours. Let everybody know.
Sounds good. Well, with my books, Wisconsin's Most Haunted, Volume 1 and Volume 2, which is out, you can find them on Amazon. You can get them through Barnes & Noble, but they don't have them on hand, so you can order them through there. You can also get them under our FoxValleyGhostHunters.com, our website, under the Fox Valley Ghost Hunters store, and I will send them to you, and I will autograph them, so that's a little bit better deal than getting them on Amazon unautographed.
That's
But
true.
I do have a third book that's coming out probably, I would say, in a couple weeks, called Archives of a Ghost Hunter. That's from all our investigations out of state. That includes St. Albans, Villisca, Axmere House, Farrar, and a bunch of others. As far as finding us at different locations, we still got some openings at the Farrar Haunted Schoolhouse for October 10th of this year yet.
Yeah, definitely go to that.
What?
I said, yeah, telling people definitely go to that. The Farrar does not disappoint.
No, I've never, like I said, we've been there 16 times, at least 15 to 16. And November 10th, we still got spots open from normal pricing to VIP. And you get to spend the night inside the school with basically the ghosts of the children. Someone just signed up for 2 more spots, but we still got quite a few. No, I wouldn't say quite a few, but probably at least 10 more or so spots left. So get them while you can. Otherwise, check back in spring. We'll be doing more events at the Novitiate, the Gresham Novitiate, that place that's out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also find us on, like I said, FoxValleyGhostHunters.com. Follow us on Facebook under Fox Valley Ghost Hunters. And we got a bunch of different videos and stuff through Fox Valley Ghost Hunters on YouTube as well.
All right, awesome. Go ahead and send me all those links to my messenger, and I'll add them in. Oh, my God, my throat is killing me.
We also have a page on Facebook called Wisconsin's Most Haunted Places that I also moderate as well. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm hoping that we do make it back to the Farrar, and we'll definitely have you there again because we enjoyed our time with you. Probably thinking that the other 2 investigators won't be joining you.
Nope, we're starting out with a whole new team, just fixing some things that need to be fixed, and I'm just going to start out for fresh here. So.
Oh, okay. Well, news good, I guess. I mean, that's what we had to do. When we first started, we had X's, and now we don't.
Yeah, it's a volunteer. A lot of people move on to bigger and better things, go off to school, college, change jobs. So it's something where we get to meet a lot of new people and new faces.
Oh yeah, most definitely. All right, man. Well, we do appreciate you being on the show, and we had a great time. It was a blast. We'll definitely have you on again when we get your 3rd book, because that way we can go ahead and talk about it. And I'm pretty sure we'll probably be doing something with you in the future. So
yeah, sounds good. Thank you very much, Gavin and Paula.
Hey, not a problem. Not a problem. So you have yourself a good rest of the evening. I'm going to go gargle salt water and probably hit the sack.
Yep. Have a good night.
All right.
You too.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yep. Thank you.
And there you have it. It was Craig Nehring, published author of Wisconsin's Most Haunted, Volume 1, Volume 2. He has a 3rd book that is coming out. You can check him out on, I believe he said, Amazon and Barnes & Nobles. And, of course, you can go to his website. So I hope everybody did enjoy their show, despite that I'm constantly clearing my throat and coughing, but... yeah, I'm on cough drops, and I'm going to go gargle salt water, and hopefully I'll be able to talk because, oh, dear God. I mean, this voice, I can do Josh Turner if I wanted to. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. Nope, that's not right.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. You want to say anything before we close out? We got like 2 minutes.
2 minutes? I don't think I can get into one of my stories. I don't think I have time.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, we'll have to save some more stories for next week. But, yeah, there's been some interesting... Well, I can throw it in there. April of 2019, if anybody is in the Detroit area, they are starting something new. They started it this year. That will be next year. It is called Buckets of Poop. And what it is...
Oh, damn, I think I should have killed the show before you even started it. What the hell is Buckets of Poop?
As you call the path and both the known and unknown, what do we understand? What answers are we trying to achieve? Are there answers? Tonight, we gather to find more verity. Join us as we take the journey into the unknown. This is the Fantastic Journey Podcast with your hosts, Gavin Kelly and Paula Purcell.